Hello and welcome to Cutter Farms. We're back with another episode of Westby, Wisconsin, and today we're going to be moving on to some new jobs. So we did a live stream here just before this episode and finished up all of our oat harvesting, and you can see we also got out our 7-bottom plow and started working on some of the tillage here. We'll get back to some of that in the episodes. I know a lot of people that don't like to watch the live streams, and so the goal with the live streams is going to be to try and tackle some of those longer jobs that can just get to be a little bit repetitive if we were to do them all in episode. And so we are now officially done harvesting wheat, which is great. And it's time to move into some of the meat and potatoes stuff on the farm here. The whole point of running this farm is we do want to get into having dairy. And so in order to bring some cows onto the farm, we're going to need to get some feed for them. And I was kind of dreading that. I really hate grass work. We are going to do some grass work. We've got some great mods for that here, but I realized we've got another option here, and it's the sorghum that we've got up in the other field here. I forgot all about. And so we're going to get this forage harvester out and set up. We've got this sickle head over here that I think will be perfect for cutting some sorghum, and we're going to turn that into silage and use that to get our feed started. We are going to do that for a few reasons. One, it's a new crop that I haven't done anything with, and also I think it's going to work really well to kind of get our silage process started here. I'm trying to figure out the best way to drop that head. Some of the headers I have to get out and disconnect hoses, some I don't. The other big reason is I really just want an excuse to use this forage harvester. This is something that Skywalker Farms converted over from FS19, and it just looks amazing. I love all of the kind of wear and stuff on it. You know, it's an older piece of equipment, and it's going to work really good for what we want to do. And I'm really hoping that we can use these forage boxes with it, because the fields that we're going to go out and harvest the sorghum off of are kind of windy fields, and so trying to run the forage harvester with a tractor alongside it, not so much gonna be easy. And I've got the roofs on these boxes right now. I could definitely remove those. I'm just hoping that this setup is gonna work and we won't have to do that. This is gonna be optimal for us, hopefully. And this thing's got a nice wide head on it, which I think is going to work out well for what we're trying to do. Now, my biggest question is really going to be how well it handles on these hills. I've run into some horsepower issues with some of the equipment here. I think we're going to head up to the top field here first, or the top contour, maybe I should say. I think we're going to have a little bit better luck up here. It'll be a good spot to give this a shot. So I'm going to jump over here and see about turning this thing on. Helps if you connect the PTO first, apparently. There we go. Let's see how this works. We are filling up the chaff right out of the gate. I'm digging that. It's going to work out pretty well, I hope. Now, the only downside with this setup is I am going to have to run a tractor up here to run the boxes back and forth, because I don't think I'll be able to unload it with the forage harvester without a PTO, at least not realistically. Oh, look at this. We're getting tons of material, too. We're already at 8%, and we've barely gotten very far at all here. I'm going to enjoy the yield from this for sure. I think this is going to give us plenty of material to get our animals going. I'm extremely excited for that. And just look at those graphics. The crops getting pulled into the header. Everything about this mod is really well done. I'm digging it. So kudos to Skywalker Farms for converting this over to 22 for us to use. It's released on his itch.io page. I'll try to remember to put a link in the description. In case I forget, he also posted the links in the FS22 mods channel on my Discord server. So if you're not a member of the Discord server, join up there. We got lots of cool things going on there, lots of good people helping each other out in the various channels. Lots of modders on there helping each other out, sharing mods, etc. And this is just absolutely amazing. I'm digging this. We're gonna get so much feed off of this field. We're gonna be able to get these cows going, hopefully this episode. I really want to get moving into that dairy farming, and this is the machine that's going to help us get there. Gotta watch those waterways, though. I'm glad I lifted the head up, or we might have gotten stuck. This gravity wagon is a third full. It looks like I'm stacking up in the front first. I'm hoping that continues into the back of the gravity wagon forage box here. My goodness, don't know what we're talking about. I really wish that fill plane was loading from the back to the front. I'm hoping I don't run into a situation where I can't keep putting it in once it gets full in the front. Who knows how that's going to work out? Sometimes Farm Sim is just a little bit goofy. We're coming up here on the end of our first row, and we're gonna push just past 50%. I guess this is a good news, bad news situation, since we probably won't make it all the way back down to the other end without getting full. And so I think what I'm gonna do is actually spend some time and take off a couple of small headland passes here on both of these strips on this end, just because there is that fence to my left, and I don't want to keep running into that and having struggles turning around. Plus future rounds we may just make it all the way down, and maybe we'll just continue on here alongside this fence for a little while, and then if we do happen to get to a spot where we're all full up, we can just cut across the field and get over to that road to dump this trailer, and I'll huff it back up to the farm and grab another tractor, I think, and bring the other box out here. Then we can get things switched out, and once we get everything all full up, I'll worry about emptying it out. So this back path or outside part of the contours here is proving to be significantly longer of a path than the other end. All these big wide curves taking us out into the other field here, so we're most definitely not going to make it back to the other end. I was originally hoping I'd at least make it to that waterway up here, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen, so we're gonna go slow here and just probably not even try to top this thing off. I don't want to get a bunch of chaff stuck in the machine and waste it potentially, so we're gonna take this back up here to the farm. Now the one thing I am noticing is that our fill plane does extend past the roof of the box here, so that's a smidge unfortunate, but it is what it is. So I'm gonna drop this thing here. I'm hoping it's not gonna roll away. I guess we're about to find out. There we go, looks good, and we'll just park this thing here and hoof it back up to the farm. So we've grabbed the 4240 and hooked up the other box here. Man, we've got some epic hills here. I think what we're gonna do is actually try and take this up here on top of the hill and drop it off. I guess there's no harm in driving out into this grass field just a little bit. I don't think we're gonna hurt it. And I'm just gonna swing this in here towards the other field. Hop on out here and see if we can drop this one off. There we go. And let's go ahead, I think, and actually bring this other wagon back up to the farm. I want to make sure this is going to go into our silage pits without any issue. And then once we've got some confidence that this is going to work, we'll move on with the chopping here. We've been making a little bit of an effort from time to time to go in cab here, especially with some of these older tractors. I feel like this tractor is just so much more fun to drive in person here. We're going to avoid 8th gear going down into the gully here. It has kind of that same kick it did in real life. I'm loving the realism here in this tractor, that they've got the gearing down where you get kind of that burst of speed. The engine bogs way down when you go from 7th to 8th. Good times, good times. Now, before we can actually put this into those staves, we're going to need to get the blower hooked up. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I've got the dump on the left-hand side here for the forage box, so I'm gonna park this thing right here, I think, until we get to a point where we're ready for it. We'll just leave it running. We're only gonna be a moment here. I'm gonna get our 4040 out. I think we're done with the oats for the time being. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the PTO here. Oh, we dumped the oats into there and didn't actually start this tractor up to empty them. So let's get the oats put into the bin that we dumped from the wagon there. And now we can disconnect that. And I think I need to, there we go, actually disconnect. We're good to go. Let's see, we're in A range. Let's bump this up to B. That's a little bit better for yard speed. Heck, we could probably even go up to C and not feel too dangerous. I'm liking it. Now, I'm wondering if this works the same as it did in FS19. I haven't had a chance to play with this blower at all yet. And so I want to make sure I'm staying out of the way with the 4040 here. So I'm going to try and line up pretty close to the stave so that when I connect this, we're not out of position. I am also now coming to the realization I got the bucket on here. I don't want to put the bucket into the stave either. Something like this ought to work pretty good. Get this attached. I'm going to have to run around here to the other side, I think. It attached up there. I don't have a low hitch, apparently. It's a medium-sized hitch. That's not going to work very well at all, is it? Well, I wonder if there's a way to get that to attach to that bottom hitch instead. There we go. We just needed to get into a better position, and now we're on the bottom hitch. I'm digging it. So we're going to back up here, and I don't know that there's an attachment need here. I know in FS19 some of these blowers you had to actually attach them. I think in this case I don't see an attachment option. I think I just need to drive it into the correct area there, and we're gonna go ahead and pull this right up alongside and see if we can sort this out. I think we're gonna be able to do this. Let's see. There we are. Chaff in. There it goes. Back it up just a smidge. If I hop out, I can see that it's going in here. And then if I hop back into the, well, I don't even need to hop into the 4040. I can see right here, we've got the chaff going right into this stave silo. And actually, we're already generating silage here. It's going to count as corn silage for our purposes. That's all right. All those motors are just a little bit loud, but that's realism for you. We back up here. I'm digging this. We're getting our silage going. Now, this is going to take a minute to unload. We're only at 62%. So I guess there's no reason for me to hang around here. I can hoof it back up to the forage harvester. We'll get this thing all set up and going on our next pass. And I think in future runs, we'll be able to do that much more efficiently and get a lot of silage going here. I'm really looking forward to getting our cows going, hopefully by the end of this episode. So I've been talking to a few people in the Wisconsin area and dairy farmers in general, getting a feel for running some different cows. I think we're going to run a couple of breeds in our farm just to kind of see the difference. I don't know that we'll really see or learn a whole lot from that experience, but you know what? A variety is going to be a little bit more fun. And so I think we're going to get some Jersey cows, I think, are an option, as well as some Holsteins in the mix here. So when we get to the purchase screen, we'll verify our thinking, but I'd like to get quite a few cows, you know, not a ton. I think we've got an 80 cow limit on this farm, maybe. I can't really recall. We'll have to double check that as well, but we've only got $42,000 left. We haven't had to take out a loan for any reason just yet, and part of me is kind of wanting to stay that way. So at $42,000, I'm not sure how much that's going to be from a cow perspective. I suspect that cows are going to run a few thousand a piece, especially because I think I want to get some mature cows so we can start working on our milk right away rather than buying the younger cows and waiting for them to mature. We might get a mix. We might get some smaller ones and some more mature ones. We'll see where our money takes us. I almost forgot to show off the interior of this forage harvester. We've got a really nice instrument panel over here. Oh, we're missing some. We've got really cool lights and stuff up there, although all the warning lights are on, so we've probably got some problems or some faulty sensors. But we've also got good working mirrors here. Looking good, looking good. So, yeah, I definitely enjoying this mod a lot. I'm going to be using this heavily in this series, I think. This is a perfect size for our farm. We're coming up on being full yet again here, so we're going to go ahead and shut this thing down. It looks like the header and the machine have different on-offs, which is awesome. I'm going to bring this right on out here to the edge. We'll get it disconnected, and I'm really curious to go and check on the silage unloading that we were doing there up at the farm and see how that whole process worked out. It looks like these machines got stopped, actually. We were probably too far away, so we're going to get them fired back up here and finish unloading. That's very unfortunate. I was hoping that this would be all unloaded while we were up filling the other wagon. We've got not that much left to go here, another 7,000 liters. If I look here, we've got 19,000 already in there, so yeah, it looks like we'll get about 27,000 liters of chaff per wagon, which is pretty cool. There's a few different sizes for these forage boxes. I don't recall which size we got. I think we got one of the smaller ones here. If I look at the store here, I think we've got this 21 or the 216 here, and you can see there's a 218, a 220, and a 222. So we've got lots of different options here, but we're on the smaller end, which I think is probably appropriate given the size of our equipment and our farm. Not too upset about getting full and having to trade things out. It's going well, and we're officially making silage now, which was the whole point. And so as soon as we get just a little bit more silage going, I think we're going to get those cows bought and in the pasture here. I think that we're going to produce at a rate that's faster than they're going to eat it, and that means we can get going here yet today. I am a little bit curious. I haven't played around with what it's going to take to make TMR yet on this map. We, I think, need a mixture of mineral feed as well as the hay and silage. So we'll play with that in just a little bit as well. First off, though, I'm going to get the second load of silage up to the farm here so that we can be cranking through things. And then I'll catch up with you as we make some feed, make sure that we know how to do that before we go to buy our cows. So we have wrapped up unloading that wagon, and so I came over here and hooked up the feed mixer, and it looks like in order to make our TMR, we're going to need hay, silage, and then we can use some straw or some mineral feed to top things off. That mineral feed that I'm calling out, I think, is going to be made from this mixer here. So if we disconnect this trailer real quick and go hook up to this mixer, we'll see what that's about. But I think I can just use any of the major grain crops in order to make the mineral feed. And it doesn't really require a lot, so I don't know. I think we can use oats for it. So let's see here. Yep, we can use corn. We could use, I'm pretty sure that's wheat, soybeans, or oats. We've got a bunch of oats, and oats aren't particularly valuable on the market, at least by volume. And so maybe we'll hang on to some of those oats and use that when we start making our feed here. But my big takeaway here is before we can do TMR, we're going to need to start doing some hay. Now, I did notice here on the prices menu when I was looking to make sure that that was hay and not grass, that our straw that's in the barn there that we loaded up is showing up here on the menu. And so it looks like our grass, or I'm sorry, our hay bales will probably show up in the same way. And this is going to be really easy for mixing feed because those are going to be dumped right into the feed mixer. So we'll probably do small hay bales with our baling setup as well. We just need to pick ourselves up a mower and a tedder here to be able to start making some hay. I'm not sure we're going to get to that today. So I think what we're going to do is run this back up to the farm. We're just going for a Sunday drive here. We've got the other trailer right back up at the farm here. We'll take that out to the field, and I'm going to keep hitting the forage harvesting here, see if I can knock out some more of this sorghum off camera here. And next episode, we're going to go ahead and get the equipment necessary for making some hay and get that into the barns here. And we'll also go ahead and buy the cows. I don't know that we need to wait for the hay. We're going to be able to go ahead and start feeding them on just the silage until we get our full TMR up and running, since we are going to have to go through the cutting and tedding and raking phases here. I've also got my eye on a new, slightly larger rake setup that we're going to be using. So I think we'll dedicate next episode to making hay and see where things go from there. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode. Getting started on the production of silage. We managed to get over 52,000 liters of chaff put into that stave. We've got a little bit of silage going by the time we get back to this, and we've got some hay going. We're going to have plenty of feed lined up and ready to go for those cows. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, hit that like button. It helps the channel out immensely. That's all for today. Kedrick out. You look away for 1 second at the map and you get stuck in the fence. My goodness.